Welcome to the Leadership Levers Podcast. I'm your host, Will Gladhart, CMO at the Culture Think Tank. Our Culture Think Tank community is committed to advancing workplace culture and well-being. We are a virtual hub for authors, investors, leaders, managers, and employees worldwide to connect, engage in candid discussions, share ideas, and explore resources for cultivating a healthy work environment. We're here today to learn about the actions leaders have taken to address cultural change. Our guest today is Karen Hughey, the CEO of Nucleus Learning and KRHR. Thanks for taking the time to join us today. I thought we would start by having you share with our audience a bit about yourself and your organization or background.
Thanks. I've been in the people business for over 20 years in human resources and training and development. I've worked for Fortune 100 companies as well as smaller companies before then starting my own HR consulting firm, which is KRHR, and then the training and development company, Nucleus Learning. And the two really support each other. They just have two different names.
Well, we'll be discussing 3 questions today. As a warm-up to start our conversation, would you share why you believe a healthy culture is critical?
Culture is really critical, especially if it starts from the top down. And I've been very fortunate twice in my career at those Fortune 100 companies to have senior leadership and executive leadership who truly believed in and supported investing in our most valuable asset, which is our employees. And there were a number of different initiatives at 2 companies that I worked for where we went in and we made sure and put into place really good recruiting programs. We put in really good interviewing and hiring and then onboarding programs. And at one, our onboarding was actually a year long. So we started with the job skills that somebody needed for this first job. But then we continued to develop and grow those skills from an interpersonal skills perspective. And so they then launched after a year into Navigate, where they urged it, chart your own course. And they could go from there. And we gave them the tools and resources to get there. And other companies, senior leaders really knew that in our customer service area, people were calling in who not in good health. And we had to have customer service folks with really good empathy, really good customer service and listening skills. And we invested heavily in training our folks and how to develop those skills. And so I've really found that over the years with that background, I bring that to those smaller companies that we work with now. And it makes such a difference in the success of the companies, the customer experience, as well as the employee retention and staying around.
Really appreciate you mentioning that. We hear so many times from employees, but also in the culture space of individuals they're just seeking clarity in role. And that's why they often leave a company because they don't have a clear career path, et cetera. So what do you see as the biggest challenge leaders face when addressing cultural change within an organization, or maybe something specifically you faced in your own organization?
I was glad you gave me that question ahead of time because I've had so many different experiences over the years. But I wanted to start with my experiences going through many mergers, acquisitions, and divestitures. And that's been with really large companies, it's been with smaller companies. And a key to the success of that is you have different cultures coming together, different approaches, ideas, how we work, how we communicate. It's got to start at the top with the leaders focusing on change and change management. And oftentimes I've found that if there's success, the leaders focused on that said, oh, yes, we realize that most people don't like change. I know it's not shocking, but yeah, they really don't. I'm one of those rare ones. Yep, bring on the change. But most people don't. They take it from an approach of what's in it for me with them. What will this change do to my job responsibilities? How will I change my processes? I'm pretty comfortable where I am right now. And so the senior leaders who, as a part of their culture and their approach, focus on that change management, have seen much more success than the companies say, oh, yeah, we'll just give them one announcement and we'll tell them how it's great for the share price or, the future of the company, and they'll be good. And It doesn't work like that.
Appreciate you addressing that because no one wants to get a 600-word plus email about the announcement of the company when you really only want to know several things, but your questions may have not been answered that first couple rounds. What do you think leaders can do to address those challenges that they are facing, or what have you helped them do?
A key approach, again, for success or failure, I like to look at it that way, is leaders who can take a step back. I've coached some of them on that. Because you think, oh yeah, they've been so immersed in whatever that change might be, whether it's a continuous improvement or, a new acquisition. So they feel pretty knowledgeable about it. And they think that one 600-word email that you mentioned that goes out, yeah, they're get it. They're fine. They're on board. And what they don't realize is back to that resistance to change and that discomfort with it. If people are looking at different approaches, am I going to lose my overtime, or am I going to have to work extra hours or on Saturdays now, or am I going to lose my flexible work schedule? What's going to happen to me and my family or my dog when I have to pick them up after work? So really worked on multiple approaches to communication, multiple ways to communicate, and giving people some time to absorb it, think through it, and become comfortable. Now, it can't take 5 years to get there, because we do have a business to run. But yeah, when executives can use that empathy and really think about their employees and put in a purposeful change management approach, they will be successful. The ones that don't do that, it could be totally disastrous. You can't get those two cultures together and people on board.
I think it is a real challenge with merger and acquisitions, but I love that you touched on the point of those multiple communication touch points, because people aren't tired of taking a survey or an engagement survey. They're tired of pressing the button and receiving no communication and feedback from the leader or C-suite. So I think having that strategic plan in place for the leader, and no matter what size of company, is really, really important. So thank you so much for sharing those kind of tidbits. So is there any other nuggets or pieces of information you'd like to share for leaders?
Yeah, one last thing for leaders, and it dovetails nicely off of your discussion about culture surveys. Yes, people like culture surveys. They like to be asked about a variety of things that impact their work and how they're able to do their work. And oftentimes what I find is that leaders don't ask. They'll have focus groups, look at a bunch of executives together, senior managers, and they're going to solve all the problems. And their folks have really good ideas. Just go ask them. And that can be anything from a major initiative, a new product launch, a new piece of equipment, or right down to the manager having regular one-on-one meetings with their direct reports, saying, Will, how do you like to be recognized? Do you want to be up in front of a big crowd, or simple thank you? So it's, again, part of that culture of immersing their folks. And then the other great thing that happens out of that is that once you ask some folks what they want to do, and they've had an opportunity to give their input, give their ideas, be a part of solving a problem or creating a new opportunity, they own it, they're on board, and you've got complete buy-in, and they're ready to go. So I said, tell them, ask your folks and tell them what you heard.
I love that. That is awesome. So Karen, I've enjoyed having you on today. Thank you so much for your insights.
It's a delightful, Will, and I appreciate you having me.
Thank you for joining us on the Leadership Lovers podcast. You may find all our Leadership Lovers episodes in our Culture Think Tank community at www.culturethinktank.ai. Join the community at no charge and tune in weekly as we invite leaders to share their experience in strengthening culture one action at a time.